All right, Lydia, what do you think the dumbest thing you've ever done? I know that's a unique question, but let's dig in. All right, y'all. Welcome to this week's vlog, and this is one that I am really looking forward to and very excited to be filming. This is a little bit of a life update of what we got going on, and then also we're going to get to know Lydia better. I know some people have seen my family on previous TV shows and watched, our family grow up a little bit, but we're going to dig into Lydia's, childhood and her life, and we're going to get to know her a little bit better. So come along as I got some questions that I'm ready to ask her, and let's see how this goes. But first of all, I do have a list. I have about 10 questions. Take your time on answering them.
We'll see.
It's gonna be fun, but also let's just give a little update of what we got going on right now.
All the exciting things we have coming up, or
just a life update.
I feel like we're in our get fit era. I feel like we've been doing a lot of like exercise and finding new hobbies we can do together as a family, and just figuring this part of our life out, right?
Yeah, and Ryker's at a really cool stage right now. He is almost 8 months, and
he's getting more and more fun by the day.
He is so close to crawling. He is on all fours, going back and forth. He's
rocking.
So
maybe we can put a little video in of like Ryker just rocking. He's already asleep. We filmed a little late, so you might not see him today, which is kind of sad.
So his updated schedule is he's usually in bed about 7:30 to 8 or 8 around that time, and wakes up usually about 4 in the morning. Give him a bottle, and then he sleeps to about 7 or 8. And then Lydia gets up in the morning and heads to the gym and works out in the morning. And
I feed him.
I think we got a system.
And then I go, and then I come back, and then it's playtime.
And then it's our day. Let's get off to our day.
Yeah.
But that has been going good, and we do have some upcoming things that we're excited for. Cannot wait to share with y'all in the future that are going to be really fun. And
we have some trips with my family, some trips with other family, and then it's going to be a busy summer.
It really is.
It's going to be really fun. Ryker, I feel like we've just realized that it's still really easy to go do things with just Ryker being so easy.
Right.
So we're like, let's go enjoy this time in our lives. So we're going to have a fun summer.
And he's at that perfect age. He's easy to travel with, and he sleeps great when we go places, and he's just a lot of fun.
He loves traveling. He's just so easy. He loves the water.
So let's just dive right into this, and
ask Lydia a scary question.
We are going to find out more about Lydia Johanna Romike Bates.
I'm also curious. So the reason that we're doing this, or Trace wanted to do this, is because a couple of videos ago I asked him all these questions randomly. It was really fun. Yes. So he says, now it's my turn.
Yes, so let's
now he wants
to come in and say hi really fast.
He probably just wants to lay on my lap right here. I'll steal him.
All right.
He'll be my comfort cat.
I got questions that are pretty much all over the board. So about our childhood, about our, high school, college. So let's just dig in. And all right, Lydia, what do you think the dumbest thing you've ever done? I know that's a unique question, but let's dig in. You're 26 years old.
There's probably a long list of things that are just dumb that I did. I'm trying to think of what direction to take this.
Did you ever wreck a car?
Have I wrecked? Oh, I have wrecked a car. One time when I first started driving, I thought it was so weird that people always backed up so slowly and cautiously, and I was like, I just don't understand why you can't be confident and just know exactly how to back up, be really good at good drivers. So I was in this huge empty parking lot, and I was like, I love whipping it backwards just in a little turn.
How old were you? This is
probably 19.
Okay.
20. I didn't get my license until I was 19. Anyway, so I whipped it out backwards, and I'm driving my dad's little Prius that he had for the kids learning to drive, and I just all of a sudden stopped, and a loud banging sound, and then I realized that it was a huge empty parking lot with one pole. I backed up into the one pole, and I cried, and I called my dad. I said, I'm so sorry.
Oh my.
I said, I'm so sorry. I just wrecked your car. I don't know what to do about it. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do it. I'd just probably been driving for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And he was like, are you okay? Did you hit someone? I was like, no, I just hit something. I'm so sorry about your car. I think I wrecked your car. And he was like, do you want me to come get you? I was like, no, I think I can drive home. So I drove home, he looked at it, and he was like, that was it? Like, you put a dent in it? And I was like, I put a dent in it. And he was like, it's not that bad. But that was pretty dumb, simply because I thought backing up was just fun. After that, I then joined everyone else, and I still to this day cautiously back up.
That is a good thing. All right, Lydia, what is the first job you ever got?
I think it's working in a daycare. I worked in a daycare for 2 years. My church nursery first, and then started working for their daycare.
Okay.
For 2 years, I think that was my first job.
List this your jobs before you got into photography. Yeah, list your jobs before you got into
Well,
photography.
I love kids, so I babysat a lot growing up for like different families, which I loved doing that. It was always so much fun. Then I started working at my church nursery. Then I started working at the daycare and nursery. Then I started doing photography, still doing babysitting, church, and nursery. And then I started working at a pottery store.
Okay. Age gap? Like, how old were you?
When I got my first job?
No, when like your pottery, like when you get in like...
19, 20, 21, around that age, I think is when I did all that.
Did you like doing that?
I loved every single one of the jobs. Okay. Didn't love having to walk to them for that period of time, but other than that, I loved it.
Okay.
I loved the pottery store because I feel like it was just artsy. I love art. And it kind of brought me out of my shell because I had to like talk to people and interact and do like business side of things, figure out how to sell stuff. I was not great at that, but I was great at organizing her pottery store. So if you're in the Morristown area, go check out Pink Pig Pottery.
This was one of your first jobs.
They have the cutest little shop, and you can just paint this pottery, and it's so fun.
Did you have a job after that, or was that? Did you go right into...
I took care of an elderly lady with dementia for exactly a year. I did that right before I met you.
That's a tough job.
That was hard. That was the hardest one I've ever done.
So you moved in and just lived there?
So it was my friend's, my sister-in-law, actually, her grandmother, and I moved in, and it was kind of beginning stages of dementia. I know that your grandfather has it, so I know a lot of the process because I was around it for a whole year. It was 2020, and it made it even harder because then we were kind of isolated, so I was kind of isolated with her, and we just had a few people that we wanted to come in, especially since she was old, and so it was very isolating and very hard emotionally, not physically, because I was in my 20s, I can easily help her with all the different, like if she falls or all of that. But emotionally it was draining because it's so repetitive and it's so draining to repeat yourself, and it's hard because it's not like a child. You can't be like, hey, eat carefully, you're dropping all your food, or like watch out, you have like this big thing of jelly, you put your hand in the jelly, and then older people are usually like to argue and be like, no, I don't have that. Why are you telling me what to do? Yeah. So like it was just a constant trying to figure out how to convince an older person what to do, and it was hard. I have lots of stories of things that we went through. One day I found the bathroom flooded at 3 a.m. She woke me up. She's like, hey, I think someone did something in the bathroom. I was like, what do you mean? So I walked in, and I didn't have my contacts in, so I couldn't see anything. I walked into the bathroom, and it was just soaking wet. And I was like, what happened? And the faucet is running for hours. Oh my. And she was like, you should call someone for that. And I was like, I am the person for that. And so I just had to dry it, fan it out, and we had to call someone in the morning.
Sounds terrible.
But it was just a lot of things like that, and then they go through a phase where they know they can't remember, and I feel like the hardest for the person that's going through it. And then after that, they get to a point where they don't know anything, so they don't realize what they're wearing, what they're kind of saying, what they're doing, which is then the hardest for the family member, because this person that was always like someone you looked up to is all of a sudden doing and saying things that you never expected to see them do, and that is then hard for the person, like family is especially. So that's why I feel like Mama Jane, I don't know how she's such a strong woman taking care of your grandfather and still being that involved with it. Yeah. So sure. I feel like I have so much respect for her because I did it for a year, and it's so hard.
All right. Next question is, what is one thing that I do not know about you?
I'm trying to think like hobby stuff. Did you know I went to England once?
Yes.
You did know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that I used to work a summer at a farm cleaning out horse hay stalls?
I did not know that.
Horse
Tell us
poop.
about that.
It's like a program in Germany. Growing up, they had like summer programs.
Yeah.
And so just to keep like the kids entertained throughout the summer, and it's like different things that you can like job shadow, kind of like farmers and stuff. And I loved horses. I wanted to ride horses, but I didn't really know anyone with them.
Yeah.
But they had like a program where you could come, you could help like do chores and learn about the animals. So I would just go and I would just literally clean out stalls and put hay out, and I don't know if I ever got to ride a horse, but I cleaned everything out.
Do you feel like
I also slept in the church building one night, and they took us to the top and rung that. I remember vividly. It was the most random summer program. Anyway.
Wow. Do you feel like you remember a lot about Germany? Because you were, what, 10?
I was 10 when we moved.
Do you still?
I do remember a lot, but it's getting fuzzier and fuzzier every year, which is sad. I'm so excited to take you one year.
Yeah, it would be fun.
One day we'll go as a little family. But I do remember it. But also, when you think about it, in 16 years, a country has changed so much. So I feel like I'm going to go back and be like, I don't remember any of this because it's going to be very, very different.
All right. Were you rebellious or easygoing as a teenager?
I feel like I was easygoing teenager.
I wonder what your mom would say.
You should ask my mom. Ask my parents.
We need to get them on here.
We'll ask him tomorrow or whenever you see him. I feel like I was pretty easy. I feel like none of my siblings were really crazy teenagers.
Right.
I feel like I had such a great relationship with my parents that there was like a lot of trust of like if I said like, can I go hang out with my friends or whatever, like if I came home late, they knew it's just me hanging out with my close friends who are all like good influences.
Yeah.
Like we would just sit and talk for hours. Would girls like doing this? And so if I came home late, they were like, oh, we know where you were and that stuff. So I feel like it was like a good amount of trust. So I'd never snuck out or any of that type of thing.
Okay.
So I feel like I was pretty chill. The worst, what did I do? Pretty much nothing. I was probably a boring teenager.
I don't know. You went on some hikes and trespassed and stuff like that.
Oh, we don't talk about that. I'm sure I was trespassed. That's probably about the worst thing I did as a teenager.
Okay. How many times have you moved?
We grew up in one house in Germany for 10 years,
Okay.
so we rented for a while
Okay.
in Morristown, and then we moved to like my parents' like forever home.
Right now.
Beautiful property that they're still living on, and I lived there till I was about 18.
Okay.
Then I moved out into a long story, but I basically lived in like a little studio apartment for 3 months.
In Morristown?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I moved back home, and then I moved in with the lady with dementia for a year, and then I moved back home, and then I moved into a duplex with friends. From that, I directly moved into this apartment, and I've been here ever since.
That is a lot of moving, y'all. That is crazy.
I really did. It's
So
funny
you-
because my parents never moved a lot.
So you lived in the duplex with your friends for about a year before we met, or were you just like right there?
Oh, wait, no. I moved in June, and I met you in August.
Oh. So you just moved in?
Yeah, I didn't live there very long.
Okay.
We were still decorating. You came and helped us like hang up stuff. We were like, we have these paintings we still haven't hung. Can you hang them?
I
You're
thought
like,
they just been there for a while. I didn't know.
and now we just moved in.
What is your scariest moment? Lydia scares very easy as she's thinking about this. Like,
I have like a handful of things that scare me. I don't like the dark.
it's weird what scares Lydia. Like, usually, like, for me, it's like someone jumped out, like, rah, you know, whatever. But for her, if you just stand in a corner, like a dark corner, and don't say nothing, or if I stand by the door and she opens the door and just sees me, she freaks out.
It literally freaky. It's
Oh, yeah.
probably in what, maybe it's from movies. I don't know. That's way more scary.
It could be anything. Like,
At night,
the other day, I woke up and made a breakfast, and I went to bring it in her room, and I just, like, was sitting it down, and she looked up when I was sitting it down, and I didn't say
so
nothing.
sweet, made me burn.
And she's like, like freaking out, like, oh my goodness.
I had a
what'd
nightmare and I
do?
woke up and you were just right there, and I was like, why are you right there? I feel like one of the first things that pops into my head for whatever reason are just like there was a period of where I didn't have my license, so I had to walk, which is why I said I lived in that apartment for 3 months. So I lived in a studio apartment near my jobs for 3 months because I lost my license, and which that kind of sounds bad.
Yes,
It's just all of our
legal
stuff.
yeah.
So we have to, since I'm not a citizen, I have to apply for a driver's license every year. And sometimes when their paperwork is behind, you're just out for a little bit. So you like, there's certain things you can't
It
do
ain't like
here
you
and there.
broke the law to get your license taken away.
I was waiting for it to get
Yes.
approved to get my license back, basically. But anyway, so I was living there so I could continue babysitting all these different things I was doing. But I had to walk to work a lot, so I would walk, and I realized in a small town in like Tennessee, nobody really walks, so it's kind of weird when you see someone walking, especially when it's like a young girl by yourself, which I grew up in like Germany where you walk everywhere and it's very normal. You see people walk, drive their bike. It's just probably in bigger cities here too, normal. And I remember someone trying to get me in their car, and that was scary.
It would be scary.
Did not walk for a while. I had people pick me up, random people drive me for a week.
That's good.
And then I started FaceTiming while I was on it.
Like, how long did you walk to work? Like, how far was the walk?
It was probably 30, 40 minutes max.
Okay.
I walked to the lady with dementia.
Like a mile,
I did art lessons
half a
with
mile?
her. Do you know I did art lessons with her?
Yes.
We used to draw. It was so sweet. She mainly just made me draw, but yeah.
Okay.
That was one of the scariest things I feel like I can remember.
All right. What is something you look forward to every day?
Ryker's cute smiley face. Like, no matter how early
He's very cute.
he wakes up, he's so happy. So you always go in and he's always like, hi.
Very true.
Just grinning, looking through like his little like crib. And that's so sweet. I feel like every morning I look forward to that.
That is a very good thing to look forward to.
It's so sweet. Man, this makes me want to ask you some questions too.
All right. Here's an interesting one. When did you first know you loved me?
Probably really soon.
Do you remember?
We met in August.
We met in August.
I remember when you said I love you to me first.
Yes, I did say that first.
I feel like
problem.
I knew that I loved you like probably at least after 2 months of or less of dating.
It was crazy because we both
We saw
said
each other so much.
it was crazy because we both said we were going to take it slow, and it seems like
we did.
I
Until
feel like we went
think
pretty
about
fast. We met in August. We were engaged in March, and we were married in October.
Oops.
Feels fast to me.
I feel like what makes a big difference though is that we were both like already 24 and 25 or 23 and 24 or something.
And we saw each other a lot. Like I would get off.
We
I
knew
would
each
work.
other really well.
I would get off work and then drive to Morristown, and you would come to Knoxville, and we'd hang out.
We hung out a lot. And we did a lot of fun things.
For sure.
So I feel like we got to know each other. Like I got to see you around your friends, your family, in every aspect. So I feel like we knew each other just like the whole person.
I'd get off work and try to get Isaiah and Warden to go with me to your place. That was fun.
Yeah, and Jackson.
And Jackson.
I feel like those poor three, but they were so sweet.
So
they
fun.
used to come over all the time to hang out.
I feel like Isaiah and Jackson came the most.
Yes.
Yes, it was fun.
Yes,
I would always try to get Isaiah to drive back.
They were such a good sport.
They really were.
They would come play games. We played so many fun board games.
And it helped because you had roommates.
They were always tired because you know why? Because it's such a long drive when you're just the sibling.
Right.
When you're like, oh, this is the person I love, like you don't care to drive an hour
sure.
there and back. But if it's your sibling, you're like, I don't want to go tonight. Or you'd come with,
And they didn't really feel like they're third wheeling because you had roommates, and so that was fun.
Yes.
So we could hang
all
out.
our roommates and all of us or still do get along so well, so we still like have like fun hangouts with all my roommates, and they're all married too now, so it's really fun to like do things as couples. But we always had game nights where we'd watch movies and
play Dutch Blitz,
go to like corn mazes and stuff.
Play all kinds of stuff. It was a fun time. What is your favorite memory from Germany? Mm-hmm. And we're gonna go progress through the year. So what is your favorite childhood memory while you were in Germany?
I have a lot of favorite childhood memories. I remember loved going to my grandparents every year. I feel like that was always fun to go visit them and stay at their house and just see family up there. I feel like that was always one of my, like we would do the trip. It was an 8-hour drive, so we would only do like maybe 1 to 4 times a year. And it was really fun getting to go to like the most simple things. So like I remember walking to the bakery and like the butcher, all of like the small local things that we had, and we would always have like a list of things that my mom would need or whatever, And then we would go get all her groceries, and they always gave us, like, at the butcher, we always got, like, to pick one slice of one of the meats they had, or cheeses. Nice. And then at, like, every little place, so, like, the pharmacy, they would give you, like, a little candy specific ones. My parents actually just bought some of those, and all the kids were like, I remember getting those. And then the bakery also had some little treats we got every time. So, like, even running errands like that, I always thought was so fun. I feel like that was such a fun childhood memory. I loved doing, and then lots of playing in the snow. We had so much snow. That's why I love going to Colorado.
Another good question I wanted to ask is, what was it like moving to the U.S. and not knowing any English?
You know, it's crazy. I have so many memories up until the year we moved, and then my memories started back 3 years later. It's like a gap of just... So, like, when you were 10 years old to, like, 13, you don't remember a lot of that? I remember coming here, but I do not remember the first year of not understanding people. Here's what I do remember. We had a sweet little neighbor girl. She was about our age. And we used to go out and play with her, and we'd point to stuff. So it would be like, and then she'd be like, shirt.
Oh, my.
And then it'd be like, and she'd be like, hair. And we'd go, hair? And she'd be like, hair. And we're like, hair. And then some words we thought were funny, we'd laugh. I remember thinking the word sassy was just, like, such a pretty name. I heard it, and I was like, that sounds like it's such a pretty word, because it obviously didn't mean anything to me, because I didn't know the meaning of sassy. So I was like, that's so pretty. I named my pet cat Sassy. And then 6 months later, somebody was like, you do realize what that means? I was like, no, it's just a pretty name. And then I renamed her to Sissy, because I was like, she's not really sassy.
Now, was it hard going from school in Germany, homeschooling over there, to homeschooling in America? Was that a big, like, transition?
I feel like it's a bigger transition going from, I went to public school for 2 years, then to homeschool was a bigger transition.
Was it difficult learning from Germany and then learning in
Yes, because
English?
We transitioned from school stuff basically from German to English pretty fast. So it was just also hard just to understand. So we always had to, like, look up each word that we didn't know. We had a huge vocabulary memorization that was, like, so many words every day that we were trying to learn. So we did a lot of that. It set us back. That was hard because we had to set back to what we understand, like, English-wise. So basically, I was in 5th grade and I had to relearn 1st grade grammar. So that, because my parents wanted us to know all the roots to everything. So that was difficult learning all that, and I was not great at grammar. Math was pretty much the only subject you can easily transition in a new language, because it's the same in every, basically, almost. But that was hard because took like forever trying to catch back up to the grade that I was in. But the language thing was hard. I just don't remember a lot of it. I also have a friend, like, great friends that always helped us. We would just hang out. Yeah. And I think you can learn a language so much faster if you're around them and you talk to them, like, in person. So
now, when did you know that you wanted to do, like, photography and make that, like, your full-time job?
Realistically, I started out just as a hobby, and then I posted it, and then people started eventually asking me to do their family ones. So I literally would do it for like $50 or free, most of them, just so you could learn. I loved it. I thought it was so fun. And looking back, the photos are scary, like, not good. But it's so fun. I had so many friends. So it was, like, kind of like a fun thing. Like, I was 16, 17, 18. I was like, hey, let's just go, hang out and take photos at, like, a pretty field or whatever. So I practiced a lot of that. And then my brothers were super into equipment. I just got to use all their camera and all their equipment. That's kind of how I got into it. And then the more I did it, the more I was like, I love this. I wonder if I can pay my bills with it. So whenever I moved out, like, with my roommates, I think I was paying all my meals of simply just doing photography, I think, for the most part, other than babysitting.
Because when I met you, you were doing photography a lot, really busy in that, and then you also were modeling at an agency.
I did that for a year, too.
You didn't even tell us about that. No one even knew.
Oh, I forgot that I did that. It was, like, a fun thing I did with my brother for a year. It was an interesting experience. I feel like I kind of met you because of the people I met at modeling. So I would say that I'm really thankful I did it.
And she did, like, little TV.
I did, like, I'm, like, in random commercials, right?
Yeah, random commercials, TV,
I wonder if you can still find
random TV episodes, shows, and then
it's like random crime
the red
shows.
carpet. That was the weird stuff because like the outfit she wore
for
was like,
not for red carpet. That would be like shows.
oh, the runways.
Yeah, I did some really small random
Those
runway
were
shows.
the outfits they put her in were interesting.
That's because it's like an art. Fashion is like an art. Like it's not what's up to trend. They're trying to be like multiple trends ahead.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up a couple photos.
I had some crazy one. Which one are you thinking of?
Oh, I got 3 or 4.
Like, the one in the Pharaoh?
Oh, yes. Let's see if you can recognize Lydia.
Oh, that's just kind of embarrassing. I did love it. I feel like it was an interesting... Okay, let me rephrase it. I loved aspects of it. You kind of, when you do it, you figure out which ones you liked. Yeah. I didn't really like doing the runways. I preferred doing, I feel like photo shoots were fun, and then commercials or ads like that were fun. But I thought it was really interesting to be on the other side of the lens because as a photographer, I'm always wondering as the model, as the person, what do you want the photographer to help you make you comfortable and all that. So it was actually really an interesting experience. I feel helped me as a photographer. I did about a year with my brother, and then I was like, okay, that was fun. Let's I don't want to have so many hobbies that I can't focus on one thing, so I kind of quit everything and just did photography. I'm trying to figure out my new groove as a mom, because I was just gonna work 2-3 days a week. And then after I had Ryker, I was like, man, I could really see myself really take a step back from doing all that and just soaking in every minute of him. And I just miss him every time I leave. So I'm trying to figure it out. I know usually when I go do photo shoots, you watch him or one of our siblings does. That's also great for him to do that, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how much of that I want to keep doing.
Yeah, you still do a lot of family and friends, I feel like.
I do. I need to get back into it. I was literally on the edge of getting right back into it. And then we found out that we were expecting a baby in the winter. And then I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing it. So I took a whole step back. And then when we lost the baby, recovery. So I feel like now I need to make a decision how much I want to keep doing. But I feel like I'm figuring out which ones I like to do and which ones I enjoy, kids and family photos and all these. So I'm trying to figure out my exact niche I would like to do.
Now, I know I couldn't ask all the questions. So if there's any questions that you want to know more about me, more about Lydia, please drop your comment below. We do like going through and reading them, and we will screenshot them and save them for the next time we do a Q&A. So if you have any questions you want to know about Ryker, Lydia, me, please drop them below, and we look forward to reading those. And thank you for watching this vlog. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about Lydia. I found out you worked in a stable in Germany, and
it's funny because you love horses and you're so comfortable. If you had a horse, I could clean out your stable. I'm not sure about riding. I'm not so sure about riding the horse. You're so good at that.
I do like riding.
I feel like it would take me a while to get comfortable.
I miss it.
You miss your horse, yeah.
Thank you for watching.
One day we'll have horses.
Thank you for watching this vlog, and we look forward to seeing you next week. It was a lot of fun. See you later.
Bye.
Meow.